It's like it's an addicting sport. It doesn't matter what it does to you, you still come back to it.
Introduce yourself, give us your career highlights, and name, age, all that.
So my name's Preston Masciangelo. I'm 18 years old. I race 250 in open pro sport as a motocross racer in the U.S., and I'm a Canadian pro. And I'm from Waterford, Ontario, Canada. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Perfect. So we kind of got this scheduled. I was like, I want you on the podcast, whatever. Next day, I take a gander on Snapchat, click on your story. Your front teeth are knocked out. Tell us how that happened. How did that happen?
Yeah, so almost was gonna have to miss the podcast because of that. Didn't want to hop on with like no front teeth, you know.
I think it would have been funny, but
it could have been funny except for the fact that I couldn't talk. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy because I really don't know how it happened. I was so obviously I was racing over the weekend, and last moto of the day, we're like 3 laps in. The races are only like 6 laps. Just like it was like a semi-local PA, like Pennsylvania race, but it was still pretty big. There was some fast dudes there, whatever.
Yeah, I saw the
anyway,
Pro Sport podium. It looked fast. I saw the Pro Sport podium. It looked fast.
Yeah, exactly. So there was like for the Pro-Am, there was some like fast dudes. But anyway, so last moto of the whole weekend, and like 3rd lap, I'm in 2nd, and I was about a second off the lead, and we're coming down this straightaway, and all of a sudden I just feel like this really sharp pain in my mouth for like 2 seconds, and then it went away, right? So I didn't really think anything of it. So I ended up passing for the lead, and I won, and I pulled off, and I got up on the podium, and I took my helmet off, and like, I'm about to get interviewed, and like people are coming up to me to say good job, and then I went to talk, and my tongue like went through, like, because you know how you talk with your 2 front teeth, like that's how you talk, right? My tongue went through my teeth, and I couldn't talk. I'm like, something ain't right. Like I thought like I thought all of like 3 or 4 teeth were gone, because like my mouth felt empty. But yeah, so I ended up doing the podium interview, and I pulled off, and I was talking to a bunch of people after, and they were telling me it was bad, and I didn't really know, because I still hadn't seen it at that point. And then I went back to my van, and I had a look in the mirror, and like honestly, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it wasn't terrible.
No. I looked like a vampire.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, that's what people were saying. So that's that story. And then so anyway, there was no way I was staying like that. So and you know what? It was kind of funny, because like after I did it, it was like everyone was laughing, right? Like it was funny. And then when I started driving home, that's when it became not funny, because my whole mouth was like freaking like, it hurt, so the drive home was a little bit long, but I ended up getting all my teeth and everything fixed yesterday, so
that's good.
we're good now. Fake teeth are in.
Veneers? Are they veneers?
Not yet, but I was thinking, so I have like just a temporary fill-ins, but I'm supposed to get veneers, but I was kind of thinking gold caps.
Are you joking?
It could look good, right?
Sure. Yeah, that sounds great.
So that's that story. That
was
story.
Funny. So you didn't even crash?
No, nowhere. No, it was like, so I feel, I don't really know how it happened, but I'm assuming that like a tiny rock went, because it's weird, because my helmet's not broken and my goggles aren't broken, but you know how there's a little gap between your helmet and your goggles? Somehow a rock went through there and nailed me in the teeth.
Okay, but did you spit out a rock, or like?
No, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to the rest of my teeth or the rock. I just know that they're gone.
I'm crying. That's so funny.
Yeah. So that's that. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so how'd you get into moto? How'd this start?
I think I definitely got into it because of my dad. My dad raced like professional downhill mountain biking. So that, and then after he was kind of done with that and retired, he started picking up moto a little bit. And then when I was born, I was obviously like well around the track and all that. And yeah, when I was 3, I started riding, and I started kind of getting into racing when I was like 5 or 6. And I raced in Canada for like 2 years, and after that, I've pretty much been racing in the States ever since. Like I didn't really spend a lot of time. I mean, obviously, I still live here and all that, but most of my racing was done in the States for like the longest time. And then during like COVID and all that, when we had to stay back at home, I raced a bunch of the Canadian Nationals and all that. So, and I've kind of been doing that off and on ever since. So
yeah. And what's your favorite part about the sport?
I don't know. I love it all. I love it all. I gotta say, my favorite part is winning. Like, honestly, I mean, I have the most fun when I'm winning, but also when I can, when I can get out and just go ride, tracks or trails or ramps or whatever with my buddies, that's also really, really fun. But for the most part, where I'm at right now, it's pretty serious because I'm kind of finishing up my amateur career, and like I said, I'm 18 now, and I've been racing in the pro sport classes for the last 3 years. So the plan is for me right now is to try and I'm supposed to get on Supercross next week, and we're gonna ride Supercross for 2 or 3 months, and then I'm supposed to go to Anaheim 1. So that's the plan. That is exciting.
Yeah. Are you excited?
It's yes. I mean, because I did the Supercross Futures thing this year and last year, and it was good. My results weren't really the best, but like the experience of racing in the stadiums and going to those cities and all that is like you can't find that anywhere else. So
yeah.
I look forward to that, and just like being able to explore like the places that I haven't been yet, and get to race pro with people I've looked up to my whole life, and be in stadiums with thousands of people under the lights and everything. It's exciting. So
yeah, no, I can't imagine. That would be really cool, especially like people cheering. There's like so many people there, especially Anaheim 1, because it's the first one, biggest one in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%, because that's the one that's like, it's the opener. Everyone's the most hyped about that. So, and even when I raced Supercross Futures this year, it was I raced Anaheim 2. That was the first Futures round, and like that was pretty cool because they put us in the night show, like in between heat races and stuff like that, and so we got the chance to race under the lights and all that, and it's pretty dang cool. Like it's something you can't find anywhere else, really.
Yeah. So we talked about your favorite part. What's your least favorite part about the sport?
My least favorite part.
Yeah.
Well, if my favorite part is winning, my least favorite part is losing.
So how do you kind of overcome that? Like what? Like if you lose and you could have won, like how do you go about that?
It's that's something I'm actually still trying to figure out, because I'd like to say back when I was on 85s and Super Minis, I was I was one of the top. I raced for factory Suzuki, and I definitely was right up there, and everything was going really good. And then kind of after COVID, obviously I had to stay in Canada for a little while, and I ended up going to big bikes really early, like when I was 14, I think, and getting on a big bike like a 250 and being that young, obviously I lost for a really long time before I got back to winning again. And so it really, that kind of set me back, not being able to be in the States and racing with my normal group and stuff like that. So that took a lot of overcoming, just because when I came back to racing in the States, like full time again, it was kind of like hard to, it was like I was playing catch up. I'm still playing catch up right now. So, but I'm slowly getting back there, and it's just continuing to work and not letting like the little things frustrate you. You know, that's like the biggest thing that I've learned, even mostly in the last year, is that just being patient and waiting for the time to come, you know?
Yeah. No, that is, a lot of people, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people think that, like, losing, not, even though it sounds, like, on the surface level, it sounds like, oh, you hate to lose, you're a sore loser, you suck. But, like, it's like, yeah, there's a lot more to it, and that was a good answer.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
And especially when you win, I'm sure it's more, like, rewarding because you've had to play catch up for these past couple years after COVID. So
it is, and you have to, like, I feel like you have to be a sore loser in motocross.
Yeah.
I like, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Like, because if you're not a sore loser, you're never gonna win. So, and but yeah, it's been, and like even now, like I feel like I'm starting to find my old form again, and I'm starting to be like up there every time, even at the nationals and stuff like that. This year hasn't really gone my way.
Loretta's.
Some of the Loretta's, like I struggled at Loretta's, and some of the spring nationals were really good for me. I had some podiums and a lot of top fives and stuff like that. But yeah, obviously I got hurt at Loretta's, and I'm kind of getting back to what I was after that. So
yeah. So do you like the United States or Canada better?
I think I like the States better.
Okay, good.
Like I like being I spend a lot of time in the States, like riding and training and all that. But like, it's nice to come home. Yeah. It's nice to come home, and I live in a pretty small town, and it's like it's just nice. Like, it's one of those, like, you know, homey places. It's nice to come home, but I do like spending most of my time in the States, 100%.
Yeah. So, do you see yourself coming and moving here?
We're actually in the process of doing that right now.
Really? Where at?
Everyone wants to go to Florida. I don't know if we're going to be going to Florida. It's either that or North Carolina.
Well, North Carolina is sunk right now, so have fun with that.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But, yeah, so we'll wait until everything's out of water, and then we'll move.
You said that your performance at Loretta's wasn't great, that you got hurt. Take me through your motos. Take me through your week at Loretta's.
It was a long week, that's for sure. It was good. Like, so practice, obviously the practice day was, it was kind of muddy. It was hot, humid, as expected, always is. But I felt really good, and I was going fast. I think, I was fourth fastest in 250 Pro Sport. I don't know what I was in Open Pro Sport, but I was super hyped on the fact that I was that far up in practice, because usually it takes me a little bit through the week to get fast and get to the point where I can be near the top five.
And that's exciting. Like, that's just exciting to know. Yeah.
Yeah. So to be like that close, you know, to be in the mix that early in the week, I was super happy about that.
Yeah.
And my first 250 Pro Sport moto was decent. I got a good start, but kind of faded back and let the heat get to me a little bit. So I got 11th in that. Then my first Open Pro Sport moto was even worse, because I got a decent start, but the heat was getting to me, and I tipped the bike over a few times and made a bunch of mistakes, and ended up getting docked for going off the track on the start too. So that just, you know, that was even worse. And so I don't even like talking about that result. But yeah, that one really made me mad going into my second 250 Pro Sport moto, because I'm like, I gotta get it done. Like, I know I have the speed to be up there, but it's like this is not working.
Yeah.
So I went out there and I pulled a crazy start, best start of the week. I was in third going into the second corner, and I got pushed a little wide, and the corner kind of makes a really sharp turn and then goes back down a straightaway. And I was I didn't, obviously I knew the corner was like that, but I wasn't used to being that far out.
Yeah.
So I didn't really turn when I was supposed to turn, and I hit kind of the dirt wall at the side of the track, and it just sent me flying over the bars. And
I'm gonna insert that video. I'm gonna find it off your TikTok. I'm gonna put it in.
yeah, you should. You should.
It's funny.
It is funny. It's funny now. I can laugh
moment.
about it now.
Yeah.
But at the time, and I didn't even know it happened until I had crashed. Like, it happened so fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, funny too. I thought my shoulder was out because I put that shoulder out a few times. So I took my arm and threw it over my head trying to put my shoulder back in place, and I felt my whole neck crunch. And so that was that. I fell back to the floor, and he had to pick me up and put me on the golf cart, and yeah.
Oh my God. Something about moto too is that injuries are just so normalized. They're just I've thrown my shoulder out a couple times. I don't know if you've seen that one video of Cameron McAdoo of him just popping his collarbone out, and it's just normal.
Just seen that yesterday. Yes.
It's just normal. And they'll be yeah, I've torn my ACL 15 times, and I've had 25 concussions in the past year, but it's fine. I'm racing tomorrow. It's
no
just,
big deal.
injuries are so normalized. It's so odd.
Yeah, things that people would maybe experience once in a lifetime are
everyday
a weekly occurrence.
Yeah.
It's it's an addicting sport. It doesn't matter what it does to you, you still come back to it.
Yeah. And that's why even I had a minor minuscule injury, and I was I'm done. I'm quitting. I hate this sport. I'm done. And I still came back, and I was I'm fine now. Well, what's your favorite national? We can keep going.
My favorite national is not Loretta's. We'll just put that. We'll put that out there because I love Loretta's for the experience.
Yeah.
But it's never been good to me. The week's never been. I've had good motos and whatever, but I've never been able to put a whole week together. I'd say my favorite national is Minios.
That's the only national I've been to.
It's just the vibes are high.
No,
I don't know.
Yes. That's why we're going back.
I don't know if you've been to Minios. I'm sure you have, right?
That's where I met you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Why'd I forget about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Minios. You can't. I didn't have the greatest week last year, but I was still having a good time just because it's it's a little more laid back than the rest of them. I feel like.
So this brings us to the point. Loretta's is hard. Putting a full week together. So kind of talk about, for the people who don't know moto, talk about how to get there and stuff. Because I think it's kind of unlike any other sport. So talk about having to go through an area in a regional and going to 4 different regions, and then having to put 3 entire motos together and having to not hurt yourself during any of these 6 motos. And
practice. that's exactly right. So it's so obviously you start with the area qualifiers, which is
top 9.
Kind of just that, right?
Yeah.
It's local. It's a local qualifier. They take top 9, I think. 9. They take top 9 to the regional qualifiers, so usually pretty easy to get through those. Yeah. But the regional qualifiers are a little harder because you get kind of people coming from different areas of the States and sometimes Canada. And depending on if you go to one of the earlier regionals, it's definitely harder.
Yeah.
This year, I was at the first regional at High Point, and we had I want to say 9 or 10 people in 250 Pro Sport that could probably be the top 9 or 10 at Loretta's.
Yeah. No,
So,
yeah.
and only 7 of those people are getting through a regional. So that one, High Point, was tough for me, because
And it was raining.
And it rained, right? Yeah. So the track wasn't great. I did better in the mud, but both my first motos sucked. Like I got, I think I went down in my Open Pro Sport moto and couldn't get my bike to start, so I got 19th in that, and then I got like, I want to say like 14th in my 250 moto. Same kind of thing. I kept crashing. So I went my Open Pro Sport class. I went 19.22 for 8th overall, I think.
That's
and they
not
only
bad.
take 7. They
No,
only take 7 though, so I didn't make it.
6, I think.
6, yeah, 6, right? So I was 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
And I remember I'd missed it by like, I just missed it, and just missed it in my 250 class too because I kept crashing in the mud.
Yeah.
But yeah, the open class was was good, except for the fact that I didn't get in. I went 19.22 for 7th overall or 8th overall.
Amazing comeback though.
Crazy comeback. Yeah, they're like, yeah. I mean, I showed that I'm like more than fast enough, but yeah. So I ended up having to go to Redbud and got in at Redbud.
Yeah.
But
I can't relate, but it's fine.
Well, yeah, you got hurt, didn't you?
Yeah, I sprained my ankles.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, but it hurt. Yeah, that hurt. Both of my regionals were painful.
What was your other regional again?
Sunset Ridge.
Oh, true. Yeah, I like that track too. That's fun.
Actually, it was fun, but then it just got like insane, and they put women's with College Boy.
Oh, that's cool.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
that's a form of like misogyny. It has to be, because you know these people are like, you know, fixing to go pro. They're like 18 to 21, and they're insanely fast. And then you got us women who, yes, a lot of us are fast, but there's a lot of us who are not nearly as fast as the people who are about to go pro. So there's a lot of them. So I don't know. Justice for WMX. Thank you.
Justice for WMX.
It's gonna be my new platform or something. Justice for WMX. Anyway.
New hashtag.
I'm gonna hashtag that on the post that I make to promote this.
You should.
And on the YouTube video. All right. Is there anything else that I missed that we should talk about?
I don't know. I feel like we've covered most of my life up until now. I mean, there's not much more else. I talked about we talked about me going back riding Supercross and stuff like that. And
do you know what Supercross rounds you're doing yet?
I'm supposed to do the whole of West Coast.
So you're not coming to Indy? Okay, I see how it is.
No, well, I mean, plans could change, but I'm like 80% set on doing West Coast just because everything's a lot more centralized and there's a lot less driving if I want to do all 7 rounds.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, things could change because there's definitely a lot of the East Coast rounds are like a lot closer to where I am here, like when I'm at home. So.
Okay, you know what? I have a new topic. Do you want to keep talking or do you want to end it here? Because we can do either.
Let's keep talking.
Okay. I didn't know you were on Factory Suzuki. Can we talk about that? Like, talk about your time there, what all you raced for them?
Yes. Okay, that's like, yeah, I actually love talking about that because I feel like that was like, if I were to say that I'm in my prime right now, I feel like back then was like my first prime. I'm going into my second prime because I feel really good right now. But when I was on, so I actually got on that really young. I was 10 turning 11 when I got the Suzuki thing, and I was on the team for 4 years. I was on the team for 4 years.
That's nice.
And it was really cool because it was my first kind of factory experience, and at that time there was a bunch of really good people on Suzuki. I think like in my second year, we had Casey Cochran.
All right. Before the episode, he said his phone was gonna die, and I'm assuming that's what happened. So.
I think it might have been my second. Yeah, it was my second year on Suzuki, and the team. So yeah, I was on there. I was on the team for 4 years, I think, and the first year I was on, Suzuki was kind of just getting back into their amateur thing.
Yeah.
The second year I was part of it, they really started to like ramp it up, and the team was actually really good. Like at that point, it was like me, Casey Cochran. I know Slade Barola was on it. Julian Balmer, the Gordon brothers were a part of it. There was a few other guys. Crockett Myers was on it at that time too. He was riding a Super Mini though.
Yeah. And all of them, aside from the Gordon brothers, are pro now.
Yeah. So
That's
we were all a part of that on 85s, and the team was like really strong. Like we had a bunch of guys, and that lasted for like those. Most of that group stayed on Suzuki for, I want to say 3 years, and it was really good. And then and we got to do a bunch of really cool things too. Like we spent a lot of time when the pro team was JGR Suzuki. We spent a lot of time in North Carolina there, and just getting to like kind of see what everything was like, and it was really cool. And then unfortunately, kind of like towards 2020, and when COVID started to happen and all that, the team kind of slowly started to shut down and like bring back what they had built up from the amateur scene. And so it was kind of sad to see it go. Honestly, if it had stayed around, I probably would still be on a Suzuki to this day.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was a really cool time in my life, because it was it's cool to be part of a real team like that. So.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Like, that would be awesome. So what I'm hearing is like COVID totally just kind of set you back quite a bit.
Yes.
Not being able to come to the
exactly.
US.
It sent me back a good 2 years.
That's yeah. That would be like heartbreaking.
I wasn't, because we weren't allowed to even go back into the U.S. until the end of 2022.
Yeah.
So it kind of, it set me back, and like I said, still kind of playing catch up from that, but we're getting there now. So
yeah. Well, I don't think I can think of any more topics. Favorite pro rider?
Favorite pro, Ken Roxon. Big Kenny fan. My whole life.
Really?
Yes, I'm a diehard Kenny fan.
If racing doesn't work out, like if it just doesn't happen, like something happens and you can't ride anymore, what are you doing?
That's something I haven't thought about.
Really?
I've put a little bit of time into thinking about that, especially because I'm getting closer to the point where I'm going to try pro and see how it goes. But if it somehow doesn't work out, I don't know. Like, my dad does construction, so that'd probably be the first place I'd go, because I've grown up around that. But for me, if I wanted to do my own thing, like, I want to still do something that's like involved in the industry, like I still want to be around dirt bikes and all that. So whether it was like being a rep for a company or something like that, like I still want to be in it. So that's probably where I would go.
Monster girl.
Yeah.
You'd be
right.
a great monster girl. Anyway.
I could be a monster girl.
No, I could so see you in broadcasting.
Right? Yeah. I was, I mean, you've seen it. I got to do a little like broadcast. The race I was at this weekend was being televised, and I got to go up there in the booth and call a race for a little bit.
I was so jealous when I saw that.
Yeah, no. So, and you know what? I actually was like a little bit skeptical on whether, like, because I didn't really know if I'd know what to talk about.
Yeah.
But I went up there and I sat in there for like 25 minutes, and I found out that I'm like a natural talker. Like, it was it was pretty cool. Like, it might be something I want to do one day. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously you're a natural talker. We've been going for 32 minutes.
Do you think this is your longest podcast so far?
100%.
Really?
Yeah. Even
What about the one with the Love Island guy?
He won't respond to me.
Really?
He's an op. He was like, so I hopped on his TikTok live, and I was like, come on the podcast, and he was like, I'll see what I can do. Just message me on Instagram. And so I did. I typed up a essay, MLA formatted essay, and I sent it to this guy.
Right.
No response. He didn't even look at it.
Because that would have been good.
That would have
been
been
a good one.
fantastic. But I think it's because the fact that I'm 16, he's a little... Because, he's like 23, 25, something, so...
Yeah, maybe. That's true. That's
could
true.
come off a little odd.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it would have been legendary. I guess he didn't.
Yeah, but on your end, for your podcast, that would have been
For me, it would
legendary,
have been
100%.
fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. People who wouldn't even listen would be listening to that.
Right, well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fan
I got a
base.
solid 32 subscribers right now.
We're building. We're
Are
building.
you one of them?
Huh?
Are you one of them? Are you subscribed?
I'm not one of them yet.
Okay, well,
I'm not one of them yet. After this, I'm about to hop on YouTube right now.
You have
and
to subscribe before this gets posted.
Yes, 100%.
For sure. All right. I think that's it. Thank you so
I think
much for
that's
coming
good.
on.
Yes, no,
Appreciate
thanks.
it.
You know what? Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Anytime.
It's been good. Yes.
All right.